After a point, there was this whole startup craze that was happening. Everybody wanted to be a founder. I said, I'm not going to use this word. Founder, though, I hate that word right now. Chose Christ University, Bangalore. And they failed me in English as a language.
What do you mean they failed you?
They failed me. So in the 7th grade, my waist was a 44. I would buy jeans from the adult section and I had to cut it at the knee because I was pretty short that time. The thing that differentiates a business-oriented community from the service sector community is the appetite for risk. My granddad was super risk-friendly. Imagine from being a coolie to becoming businessman. There is something to it. For us, your business acumen is not built in the classroom or in a lecture hall. For us, it happens over a dinner table conversation when you meet the entire family for Rakhi or Diwali.
What is one thing you learned from your mom that you now use in your business?
Don't wait for stars to align. Start. The perfect moment is when you start.
Wait, Mithaiwala is yours?
MM is Manmohan, he's my nana.
Ladies and gentlemen and wonderful people of the internet, I'm in Curry Road at the heart of South Bombay for yet another episode of Elsonomics. But today's episode is going to be different. We're going to meet a founder yet again, but this time we're going to meet him in his own den. Let's see how it feels like to go in his office, in the factory, and hopefully we get some behind the scenes of what it's like to be a founder. Alright, so I think I found the place. It's very close to the station and this is what the map tells me. Let's hope this is the right one. Here, Rishi, honest. So the founder told me that instead of doing it at a fancy studio setup, why not meet him and he'll get to show me a little bit more about the factory, because that feels a lot more raw, it feels a lot more unfiltered. And I thought, why not, right? It's a brilliant opportunity for you to actually see what it's like being a founder, a day in the life. And like most times, I haven't really broken the ice with him. I got connected to him thanks to a mutual friend. So he doesn't know me and neither do I know him. But hopefully we'll have a nice conversation. Hey Rishi.
Hello.
I'm Elson, Jay's friend.
Expecting you.
Nice. Ready for the podcast?
Shalom. So
This is nice, yeah?
this is where I sit.
Okay.
This is where my CA, accountant and everyone that happens here.
Right. It's in the morning, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
My mom, when she's here, she sits out of the cabin there. She looks into production, quality control. This is where we do our packing and dispatch couriers for the day. All of them, they're dispatched from here. We have a little bit of a storeroom here. And this entire thing, that's our production unit. So from roasting to grinding to the refining, all of it happens in here. So pretty simple. So the store.
You guys make butters?
So we do nut butter, like peanut butter, but different nuts and seeds.
Okay. And all of the magic happens here?
Everything. It's all here, all contained here. A very small, concise team.
It's not small, man.
I mean, yeah.
I couldn't expect it when I came. I was like, oh, what is this?
Most people get surprised. They're like, what is this? How is a food factory in this space? And
Yeah,
they'll come here. They're like, okay, fine.
This is
We're happy. This is where our food is coming from.
damn cool. And what is all this?
So
All of this is part of the office?
Yeah. So this is the storage room. We have storage facilities here. So all the raw material and everything, it goes up here. So here also Jugaad. I was running out of space for refrigeration.
Yeah.
So with the family business, we're into stainless steel. So here we got the laborers to build these two little.
By the way, guys, me and Rishi, like I mentioned, this is one of those podcasts again where I do not know Rishi's story. This is super candid. We would probably be doing it over a cup of coffee at some coffee shop, but I was like, dude, let's just throw a camera at it.
So one little secret, a little indulgence of mine. So my days.
Is it like a snack corner or something?
So actually this is the front. So everybody who's visiting can actually come in from here.
Right.
But this is the HFC gym. So my day starts early here. I come in early, finish my workout, shower. So it's like one little bubble that I've created for myself. Come here, work out.
This is so cool.
Work calls start early in the morning as well. So yeah, this is one little indulgence. One lockdown after the other, it was...
You're into fitness, I know that.
Yeah. So one lockdown after the other, it was really disrupting my workout routine. I said, chalo,
एक एक करके let's yeah, but if it's something like this, you'll never get out of it. That's what happens. I have a nice little TV setup. I have the fridge. It's like my little den. And also, there's a small mattress. So like middle of the day or something, take a nap. So you have a TV. You have a yeah. So this is my little den. This is super good. You wanna show some moves? Oh, but
So this is our most popular flavor, the hazelnut with cocoa and jaggery. 80% of the jar is pure Turkish hazelnut, 15% palm jaggery, and 5% cocoa powder. Real vanilla, no preservatives, no emulsifiers, and no refined sugar.
see a nice layer.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
so that's how smooth it is. A spoonful of it, super dark, so this is like Nutella for adults. A spoonful of this in your smoothie will give an instant hazelnut flavor, the richness and the flavor of hazelnuts. A spoonful of this in your coffee will give an instant hazelnut latte. A spoonful of this will give an instant hazelnut latte. Normally they add that artificial flavor pump to your hazelnut lattes. You get the flavor and texture from real hazelnut.
So there's that popular social media post where Nutella is like this much.
Exactly. Here's
So much tasty.
yes, here so much of this would be pure hazelnut.
So what are the other flavors of here?
So we have coconut, cashew, hazelnut, almond, walnut, pecanut, pistachio, and a seed butter and flavors in each. The top row, these are all unsweetened nut butters. 100% of the jar is the nut itself, nothing added or subtracted. The ones in the second row, they're sweetened with dehydrated blueberries, so they're not with real blueberries, no artificial flavors or colors. The ones here, we are sweetened with palm jaggery, Kanjoos ka gul, so we have 3 dark chocolate options, a coconut with real vanilla, and an espresso almond with South Indian filter coffee. We also have an almond with pink salt and 4 stevia sweetened flavors for people who are diabetic or on keto diet. And we have a vegan cheese cube for people who want to make their own vegan almond or cashew cheese at home. So all the dry ingredients pre-portioned and packaged to make cheese using 1 jar of either cashew butter or almond butter.
Yeah, that sounds like it. So you knew the jar.
So by the end of the play, the stalls next to us also, they also memorize it.
Rishi, thank you for doing this. I know you're busy. You reply in like one word text on WhatsApp. So I know I'm troubling you. But I really want your story to go out there.
Sure.
Okay, let me start with what I know about you. I know you're Jay's friend. He told me that you speak really well. I know you are a Marwari. You know how to do business. It's something. And I know you're doing something with butters. I'm assuming it is not like your traditional Amul butter. This is all I know. Everything else I want to know. By the end of this podcast, my goal is if there was a Rishi from say 5 years, 7 years back, and who is questioning, do I get into entrepreneurship? Can I do something like this? And it's not just for the Marwadi guys, it's for Southees like me as well, who are apprehensive of business and have that anxiety. What are those things that would help him to become this entire thing?
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
So let's start from the back. Where did you do your schooling? Where are you from? Nationality, this.
Okay.
Are you a Bombay boy?
So yeah, born and bred in Bombay. My parents were also born in Bombay. My grandparents from both sides are the ones who moved to Bombay.
Right.
And I've done my schooling in Bombay. I was at Cathedral for about till the 7th grade, after which I moved to Good Shepherd Ooty boarding school.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So from the 7th to the 10th grade, and then I took up IB at GD Goenka, Delhi. So I didn't want to come back to Bombay.
Why you used to independently?
Because of boarding school. Because of boarding school, I got used to living independently. I didn't want to come back to Bombay as till I was studying. So I was in Delhi for 2 years. I did my 11th, 12th there. I had the South Indian connect with Ooty. So I chose Christ University, Bangalore.
Okay.
So I was in Bangalore only for 9 months though. I had enrolled for the BBA program there, which was bad.
Okay.
And they failed me in English as a second language.
What do you mean they failed you?
They failed me. My English isn't up to their second language
You are
standard.
GD Goenka, Cathedral.
Or whatever it is, or this conversation.
Because I know, I was going through, I think your LinkedIn or somewhere, I saw you were a debater.
Yeah, all of that. But I wasn't good enough for Christ University second language English. So I quit.
But how were you in school? Like, were you like a nerdy student?
So
a backbencher?
I wasn't a backbencher, but I was quite like the Tare Zameen Par situation.
Okay.
So, like, if you speak to my teachers from school, they'll give you instances of how I was going from one end of the corridor to the other because I had to go from one classroom to the other. And at each window, I would stop and look at the same tree. So, a little eccentric, a little. A lot of my education was affected because school was cathedral, but we moved to Hirandani Pawai. And this is back in like the early 2000s. I was traveling 3 hours a day.
Right. Where do you do your homework and study?
Exactly. I was getting up from bed, sitting in the car, getting out of the car, sitting in class, getting out of class, sitting in the tuition, sitting back in the car, going back home, and it was time for bed. So that sedentary lifestyle is what led me to gain a lot of weight. So in the 7th grade, my waist was a 44. I would buy jeans from the adult section and I had to cut it at the knee because I was pretty short that time. All of that changed once I joined boarding school because I regained 3 hours a day. It wasn't like I was eating unhealthy, I was eating what other people were eating. While we were driving back home, mom told me that, see, if you join boarding school, you won't have to take tuitions. I'm like, done, let's go.
Right.
And that is the thing that got me sold on the idea of boarding school. Then boarding school happened, Good Shepherd, that was a beautiful 3 years. And that is when the turnaround happened as well. I started playing a couple of sports, I started working out, and life generally was more active.
There was one thing during my boarding school days, what we did is every Sunday, which was the only time we could go out, and they would allow us to go out to either the temple or the church. It was that. What we used to do is, so we would sign it that we are going to church or temple or whatnot, but we would go to the nearby mall. Did you have to do those kind of things?
So no, Good Shepherd is very strict that way. So you were allowed outings only once every 2 or 3 months, only if your parents or your registered guardian was visiting. Otherwise, it was a bubble in itself.
Koi jugaad nahi?
No, they had.
Okay.
So once every week, you were rationed one chocolate bar. And that at one point also became currency. So like underground currency, and then the
like
school,
a
but then the school caught onto it. That, okay, this is becoming currency. Like they're using chocolate bars to make bets and trade, or whatever it is. Even more serious stuff. Then they started, the chocolate bar cannot be taken out of the dining room. There were designated days when you were given the chocolate bar and you had to finish it while you were in the dining hall. And on the way out, each and every student was completely frisked from top to bottom to make sure that the chocolate bar is not taken outside the dining hall. The milk comes from cows that the school owns. The vegetables are grown on a farm that the school owns. The laundry is all done. The chicken, they had a poultry farm. The eggs, whatever it was, jitna backward,
value is
jitna bhi backward integration ho sakta tha, he had done it. I mean, from a business point of view, I appreciated it back then also, and even now, crazy, the way he set the entire thing up.
Now I get a little bit about how your school life was, your early life. But tell me about your parents.
Okay.
Because I know your mom has played an important role, even in terms of the business.
Yeah.
And tell me about Marwari families. Because what is it about Marwari / Gunju families? Were you like, from day one, you knew, mujhe business hi karna hai? Or mujhe doctor, engineering karna hai? What was the...
No.
Explain that.
Okay.
Paint that scenario.
So, I've had this conversation multiple times because, again, boarding school, a lot of people from different states, different backgrounds and everything. And the stereotype of the Kanjoos Marwari always stuck.
Exactly. I was about to bring it up, but...
Yeah, no, it's fair. I mean, the Kanjoosi is what lets you reap benefits later. If my Dada wasn't Kanjoos, my dad wouldn't have the luxuries that he had. If my dad wasn't Kanjoos, I wouldn't have the luxuries that I have.
It's a very stark contrast because I see Marwadis and I hear that they're super Kanjoos and they're very for even the smallest paisa. And I also see them, with their Mercedes and their Beamers, and I'm like, what the heck is this?
Yeah. So the way we look at it is like, you have certain interests, you have certain passions. So somebody may be cars, somebody may be land or whatever it is. But the point is, you save wherever possible.
Okay.
That is also how I set up Butters and More. And you spend, you have your few indulgences as well. So you identify 1-2 indulgences and then you kind of like give yourself those treats once in a while. So the ones who you see the Mercedes or whatever, there'll be somebody in the family who's crazy about cars. Or there'll be somebody in the family who's crazy about travel. So there'll be super Kanjoos everywhere. Like, especially when it comes to business, they'll slit your throat and like negotiate.
Yeah.
Like there's no tomorrow.
Right.
so that they can save that money and probably spend it in a place that they like.
Would it be fair for me to say that they are able to compartmentalize and cut the noise? Because a lot of us are like, we need to spend on XYZ.
Yeah.
And a lot of those need to spends are things that we are told by somebody else. It's not necessarily my intelligence. So is it that you know what you need and what you want better?
So again, the thing with businesses and family businesses, you have the luxury of generational wealth. And generational, if not, it doesn't have to be something that's lavish.
Right.
But assets that are passed down.
It's a blanket.
Yeah, or it's a foundation that you can build upon.
Sure.
For somebody who comes from a family that has only been employed and like service sector, those guys usually don't have those assets in place that are passed down that a future generation can build off of.
Yeah.
Like the factory that you see here, the family owns this.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The entire thing, the family owns. This place was like a dump yard. This particular unit that I occupied was a dump yard. There was nothing.
So you had the foundation. You didn't have to figure out either setup.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. So that was taken care of. So I didn't have to struggle with that.
Yeah.
But then that also comes with the pressure. Okay, bhai, you have had the luxury of this land.
Correct.
Live up to the Purohit legacy, live up to the name, and especially given the fact that I stepped away from the family business. So when I decided, okay, this
what were they doing?
Stainless steel. My family's into stainless steel, pipe, rods, tubes, wires, and everything. And I was with them for a year and a half. But then I realized I wanted something that was more creatively engaging, and I was always drawn to food in general. When I decided to do this, the first thing my dad said was, "Abhi bawarchi banega."
Okay.
So that was the approach. Ke dhanda chhod ke bawarchi banega.
Right.
There is always a certain pressure that also comes along with the luxuries that you dip into. If you're dipping into the bucket, there is a certain amount of expectation that you have to live up to. If it's a family that has its head on its shoulders.
What do you mean by that?
Because there's this saying that the third generation is the one who squanders all the wealth.
It doesn't make sense, right? And I used to, because I know some folks that are also in this, where I'm like, I get it why the first man was the entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Because he is seeing XYZ and he is making the most out of it.
Yeah.
He's entrepreneurial. He sees opportunity. And he knows every day that any second I could lose it on.
Exactly.
The second guy comes in and he's like, Dad's built so much.
Yeah.
I need to keep it.
Yeah.
Right?
Grow it or maintain it. Either of the two.
Yes. And he also does a great job and it could be partly because of the first guy also.
Yeah.
But so the father, the first guy will always tell the second guy, do you know I had to do this?
Or they've probably seen it. Like in my case, I am the first generation born into wealth.
Exactly.
Relative wealth.
Exactly my point. So the second guy has also seen the struggles.
Yeah.
So he also knows that,
Yeah.
For the third guy, from day one is like,
silver spoon.
Paisa to hai hi.
We don't know what poverty is.
Exactly. And I've had this conversation once with some person and he's like, just pay it off.
Yeah.
And it was for a person as well. He was this kind of person. He was like, just pay it off. Just a resource like this. And I was like, that is so different from what I think. And that's a very interesting topic. Because there's a balance. Because the second guy cannot screw up the third guy.
Exactly.
By not giving him any of the luxury.
Exactly.
Because it does not.
He wants to give.
And he also has a trade-off.
Exactly.
It makes
so it's a balancing act. It's always a balancing act. And then you have
the art of the second guy.
Exactly. And all three really.
Okay.
Because see, the thing about the way I see it, and the thing that differentiates a business-oriented community from, say, the service sector community is the appetite for risk.
You can stomach it.
Yeah. So whenever we've had a conversation, like for us, your business acumen is not built in the classroom or in a lecture hall. For us, it happens over a dinner table conversation when you meet the entire family for Rakhi or Diwali or something of that sort. That is when the uncles and everybody and Dada would be in the same space. And that is like, my uncle is in Baroda, my dad is here, and my Dada used to be here, and they used to manage different parts of the business. So that is when all of them used to like lock horns at times, discussing about what is happening, what should be happening, and this and that. And then in those moments is when the younger generation, even though we are doing our own thing, but you're listening to what's being spoken about. You're listening to what the approach ease for general. So whenever there was, say, a new venture that people like my dad or anyone was trying, and when they were trying to get my Dada's go ahead, he would always say, okay, give it a shot. Max to max, what will happen? You will fail.
Yeah.
But if you don't try, we won't know whether it will work.
Yeah.
My granddad was super risk friendly.
You mentioned Dada once more, so I want to know his story.
He actually started off as a coolie.
Coolie as in a porter.
Yeah, porter. So he used to pick up mawa on his back, like a sack of mawa, hoya. And
Take that you put on gajar ka.
Yeah. Okay. And he used to sell door to door to Mithaiwalas. From there, he moved like the India-China war happened in the 60s. He started selling welding rods. He really succeeded on that front because the 60s was also when the economy in India was building.
Correct.
50s and 60s. There was a lot of demand for such industrial goods and everything.
That's how you came into stainless steel.
Later on, it snowballed into stainless steel. So first he became a dealer for welding rods. And then he created an association of such individual dealers in the market. And he organized the market of the dealers of welding rods. And then he stumbled upon a stainless steel business, and he and a couple of partners, they invested in it. And then he bought out the partners. So he used to rent out a table, like co-working space sort of a situation. Back then, he used to rent out a table in Kalba Devi in one room. Then it came to the point that he rented out the room. From that, he rented out the floor. Then he bought the floor. Then he bought the building. And then he bought multiple buildings. And he had the factory and this and that. So, I mean, it's crazy. And you are always told these stories.
You have to live up to it.
Yeah. And you're always in awe of such people.
So hearing this right now.
Exactly. From a coolie to owning so much land to building such a big business and everything. And in one generation. And so that's what I'm saying. It's always a balancing act. Now, the fact that I am made aware of this history, where we come from, that is what helps make me more humble and kind of puts that yoke on my back. Okay, well, this is a legacy you have to carry forward.
Help me understand him as a person, right? What was he like? Was he like strict, non-speaking kind of a guy, or whatever you know? Or was he like a friendly, outspoken? Because if I know half of business is the soft skills, right? So paint that picture to me.
There used to be taxis that used to line up under a building,
right?
And they used to compete to take him to office. He never owned a car. So the taxi wallahs used to compete who will take him to work, because they used to believe if he is the first ride of the day,
it's going to be lucky.
It's going to be lucky for them. So that's the persona that he carried. Like he was like kind of a league of his own. And like there's this one time that we got to know that the income tax guys are going to come to the office for like a raid or whatever. He told them, Kalana. मैं ऊपर नहीं चढ़ सकता अभी because there's no lift in the building, though it's the first floor. But he just had the nerve and the balls to tell the income tax Kalana, and they actually went back. And one day, whatever needed to be sorted was sorted. He had that charisma, he had that gravitas, and like imagine from being a coolie to becoming a businessman. There is something to it.
Oh, absolutely.
Not everybody can pull that off.
Yeah.
He was a different figure to different people. Like everybody in our community, be it neighbors or like a colleague or a partner, if they were facing tough times, he would fund the daughter's wedding. He would fund the son's wedding. On one hand, he was the complete dil fake. He would never count money when it came to family or spending on family or anything. But when it came to himself, very simple. So my Nani's house, they come, that is the Mithaiwala family.
Wait, Mithaiwala is yours?
My Nana. is Manmohan, he's my Nana. He's the eldest of 5 brothers.
So I had the person at the jalebi.
Yes, that's my Nana. So that's the closest connect to the F&B scene that I have.
Can I just tell you something? This is just messed up. Because I don't understand why, Marwari businessman or even the businessman of that sort of a wife who are non-techie, non-content creator, they don't sell themselves.
Yeah.
I'm having to unlock this in a podcast. It's messed up.
I mean, because again, see...
Why do you hide it?
It's not about hiding. Like even my Nana, like my Dada started off as a coolie. My Nana started off with one sack of sugar and a thela. So again, the point is that it's not something that we hide, but it is also like, again, we don't believe in flashing wealth. And we know where, like, if we have reached a certain station in life today, we know what the background is, what happened behind the scenes.
Right.
So you kind of like give it a silent nod, like, okay, that's where we come from, and we have to make sure that we don't go back.
Right.
We don't take a step back. As long as you have the strength to keep going forward, or at least at the very bare minimum, you stay where you are. You maintain and defend your position. If for whatever reason you aren't able to progress, at least you defend where you are.
Yeah.
That's the least that you should be doing. So that benchmark was always said, कि भाई, do something of my own.
Correct.
Build it from scratch, because that gives you, no matter what scale you're growing at or whatever. After a point, I also, like, there was this whole startup craze that was happening.
Funding.
Yeah, all of that. And founder became a buzzword. Like, you have founders of blogs.
Yeah.
Like, I have a food blog and I'm a founder.
YouTube channels.
Everybody wanted to be a founder.
Sure.
And I said, I'm not going to use this word. I'm a proprietor. I'm the owner, or whatever you want to call it. Like, founder to kabhi nahi bolna hai.
Okay.
Like, I don't say founder. No matter where you see, online, whatever it is, even my business card will say proprietor. Founder, though, I hate that word right now.
It's been adulterated.
Exactly. And also, that's not the race I wanted to enter. Like, I never wanted to run my business or sustain my business on a cash burn. So I prefer the more organic route of it, so I don't do any paid marketing, no influencers, nothing.
Okay.
For me, a housewife is a better influencer than a food blogger, because what she says, she'll tell her neighbors, she'll tell this, and those people actually hook onto it, and nobody will question that she has an ulterior motive or she's been paid or something of that sort.
Yeah.
Which is why I always positioned, though it's a nut butter, I always positioned it as a pantry product that is very relevant to the Indian kitchen.
All right, Rishi. So we were sitting there, and I could smell the butter or the a little bit of that chocolatey bakery wala smell. That's why I wanted to do it in this setting, closer to the factory, closer to the nuts, the butter, where the magic happens. Yeah. And more interestingly, when you told me that, hey, this is butter, like, and I keep saying this, hey, butter to Amul butter, right? Explain that to me. So I want to dive deeper into the product side of things. And I know what we discussed earlier about how your mom was helping you transition into that. So why did you get into the butter business? How did you become the butter brand?
So there is no why I got into the butter business. It was quite by accident. Like I said, fat kid, born healthy. When I was actively trying to get fit, and I joined the gym and this and that. Again, that DIY mentality was always there. So I designed my own diet. And this is like 2011, 12, whatever. And at that point, you didn't have Indian food bloggers. You didn't have Indian nutritionists. There was very few.
Correct.
There was an Anjali Mukherjee, and that's about it.
Okay.
Whenever I was researching on healthy recipes or this and that, it was always very West-centric.
Correct.
America, Europe, or whatever. And for them, healthy fat, matlab, nuts and nut butters. And that was an important part of every healthy, low-carb diet. And back then, India also, in the market, we didn't have any nut butters that were free from sugar, free from emulsifiers. We had Skip TVP, all of those imported brands. All of them had sugar and preservatives, and I didn't want any of that. And again, then, on the flip side, I also was interested in food and cooking and this and that. So I started making my own nut butter at home, for myself, my own consumption. So nut butter, I made my own. Family tried it, friends tried it, cousins tried it, friends of friends tried it. And they always used to give, it's nice, it's healthy, and this and that. And they were seeing me transform as well. So they said, they used to give like standing requests. Whenever you're making a next bag, make some for me as well.
Right.
Now, this was also the time when I had stepped away from the family business and I was interning with Entrepreneurship. Then my exams came up, so the internship ended. After that, I said, Abhi kya kare? So I started working with a friend of mine. He was a branding, marketing, and design consultant.
Okay.
So I said, let me join a consultant. because he will have these in-depth short stints with different companies from different industries.
Right. You're sampling. Now you're sampling.
Exactly. I said, let me join that because I will probably figure out what I want to do because I still didn't know what I wanted to do.
Right.
I was interested in food, so I joined Impresario.
Right.
But I decided it's too hectic to start my career
You
on.
can't commit at this point.
No, it wasn't an issue of commitment, but the funds required to start a cafe or a restaurant in Bombay are very high.
So you knew when you were doing the internship also that I want to take this somewhere.
F&B.
Okay.
F&B.
Hmm.
I was always interested in food, so that was always fun. So when I decided, okay, I don't want to start off my career with a family business, I was like, okay, what am I interested in? Because default setting the family business.
Correct.
Mom was always the one, like Dadi, behind the scenes. She would like, do it, push that. We'll agree. So this one weekend, family day out, one of the Sundays, Har station ke baad, Mom and I, we went and we bought jars because we had to give a couple of our cousins and everything butter and made the batch. So pack karke dena tha. So we bought random stores these glass jars. That week, this was on Sunday, I think Wednesday or Thursday, Mom went for an exhibition and there was a lady selling achar, homemade achar,
Right.
in the same bottle.
Okay.
Mom got excited and that's when her thing clicked.
I can also do this.
She bought it. I named she. Because she was looking to set me up. Rishi is not in the family business. Rishi is interested in food. How can I set him up? Let's give him the idea. She basically was the catalyst.
Right.
Mom.
Right.
So she bought a couple of the jars and she said, you see, same jar that we bought. She's doing a very good job, very simple lady, selling homemade achar, very good quality.
Right.
The jar was anything like your and my home would have. Homemade achar, aisa hi.
Correct.
So I was like, okay, I'll set it up and Mom can take it on from home. She was trying to set me up, I was trying to set her up. Because I still didn't know what I wanted to do. And I never envisioned, okay, butter mein scope hai, ye hai, wo hai. So then I formalized the recipes, this and that. And again, the time was to hand it over and I keep looking for what my calling in life is.
Yeah.
Then did one exhibition.
Was this the Ahimsa?
Thanks.
Tell us about that as well. What is the Ahimsa?
So Ahimsa is like this vegan NGO foundation sort of thing. And they bring together vegan brands and everything. And even now, I think they changed the name now. But every year they do like a vegan festival where they bring vegan brands, vegan speakers, and they'll do like a fest and this and that. So my first exhibition was Ahimsa. And the second one that we did was a level play.
Okay.
In quick succession. And
Were they a success?
no, both. That is why we're sitting here. That is what gave the green light. You're like, okay, the product is a hit, there's a good fit, there's demand. And at Ahimsa, I realized there is scope for B2B sales, where I can sell this as an ingredient to other food manufacturers to make their products. So as of today, retail is only like tip of the iceberg and not even my focus. My major focus and majority of my production is catering to the food manufacturers, ice cream manufacturers, restaurants, cafes.
Give us like an elevator pitch, right? I know you don't want to sell, we are not B2B, but assume that I don't know anything about butter. So is it, how is it different from say a milk butter or a dairy butter to a vegan butter? And just give me that. And more importantly, where can I use it? Do I use it on my bread? Do I use it on, pasta, or can I use it like a Nutella? Yeah.
Basically, this is like peanut butter. I decided to stick to more premium nuts because peanuts, you throw a stone with your eye shut to hit somebody who's selling peanut butter. So I decided to steer away from what is already available and people are already established in the market. I decided to bring nut butters which didn't exist, like a coconut butter, like a walnut butter, a pistachio butter. These are very rare even today world over. It's not easily found. So I decided, I curated my list of butters based on what is not available. More expensive, yes. Pistachios and everything is much more expensive than peanut. Peanuts are like 90 rupees a kg if you buy in bulk.
Then they're stuffed with palm oil and preservatives.
And pistachio is like 1800 rupees a kg. So
Yeah, absolutely. Like, yeah,
I scared about the Iran war because all my pistachios, the best quality is Iran. $200 का तो फर्क पड़ गया already. So yeah, so this is basically like peanut butter with different nuts. And again, having it with bread as a spread is the most no-brainer way to consume the butter. I always position the product as something that can be added to smoothies. You can drizzle it over a bowl, granola, muesli, oats. You can cook with it. make a gravy, a sauce, a marinade, a salad dressing.
So it can be a sauce, it can be a spread. The majority of your business is spread.
The product is a spread.
Got it.
Product is
Ah,
a
okay.
spread.
You can
The
use it
spread
in-
can also be used in so many different ways. You can
Right.
do a mixed chas. You
Okay.
can do a cashew lassi. You can do a cashew or almond cheese, a vegan cheese, using the
Okay.
nut butter.
Okay.
So very, very versatile. Like all these guys, all the big vegan ice cream manufacturers, they use my nut butter as a base for their vegan ice cream. If you have good quality ice cream, they don't want to use artificial flavors or color.
Assuming the trend is also now there where everyone wants to get into healthy
Yeah,
snacking.
and you can understand that good ingredients come at a price.
Correct.
So they're willing to pay. So the whole space of healthy and gourmet ice creams has really developed over the past couple of years.
Can I point something out? Again, I'm just drawing a pattern, right? So number one that I realized was, you said creativity, and I see it in the colors and flavors. You also said sculpting, which is shaping, which is feeling textures and all of that. And it's somehow, whatever you do, it just draws you. I mean, there's a person, like a proprietor and a product fit.
Exactly.
If I
So-
put it that way.
During the lockdown, there was this one company where I guess but there was this one company again doing nut butters, peanut butter design, and his own creation. I saw his stuff and everything. Okay, chalo, they spoke and all that. At one of the IMSA festivals, it happened annually. One of the IMSA festivals, he was also there.
Right.
And this is before we had the factory operational.
Hmm.
So I was still working from home. He was already on Amazon. I wasn't on Amazon because I was still working from home. This place was under construction. This took 1.5 years to construct. In hindsight, I wish I had not waited for 1.5 years. Instead, I'd taken a space on rent and just started.
You gotta capture the market faster.
Exactly. But then, I mean, what ifs? There was no end to
You
it.
can't
Yeah,
present
there
this
is
thing.
no end to the what if scenario. Okay, whatever happened for the best. We're here now. That fellow, he was somebody from a finance background and worked there for a bit, America or something. Moved back, decided he wanted to start his own business. Sat online, looked for trends, what is trending, CAGR, वगैरह सब किया, और ड्रामा PPT बनाया, पैसा उठाया, complete आया.
The exact opposite.
Exactly.
And is it still there?
Shut up.
Okay.
He bought one machine at the cost of 3 of my machines.
Yeah.
From that one machine, one bike was 2 kilos. From
Right.
my one machine, which is like a fraction of the cost of what he purchased, because he did online research, what is the best machine to buy.
Right.
He went and bought the best. He didn't think, what is a better way to approach it.
Correct. It's not first principles thinking.
I ended up buying all this stuff. ये table वगैरह जो है,
Oh, fuck. Crazy.
outside if you see sinks also, I bought this. When I bought it, his starting words were, I wish I thought of it like you, कि भाई second hand भी काम हो सकता है. I went and I bought everything first. Everything should be the best.
Yeah.
This also again, it's an inheritance, this approach, where second hand is not a taboo. Stainless steel, even if 10 owners are there, as
Yeah.
long as it is in one piece, it
Correct.
still can be used.
So this is so true because if I was starting a business, the first thing I would think of it like the other guy. It's like I need to do the best.
No.
I need to give my best shot at it, and probably having the best at it
And the
is
point is, the approach is, I'll cover it up later.
exactly. Someday हो जाएगा
हाँ,
यार.
हो
Business
जाएगा,
है तो
yeah.
करना ही है.
The way we look at it, I've been trained, I've been raised to look at this. कि भाई, tomorrow you can make it fancy. Start off simple. Once you have the money, you'll obviously be able to upgrade.
Yeah.
But start off at this style. And fancy करते जाओ ना, who's to stop you? So just think, when you speak of the Marwari gene or something of that sort, it's this mentality. Now if I have to buy XYZ equipment, I will spend that extra week on India Mart or online looking for 5 vendors, giving all of them cold calls, asking for prices, compiling a list of all the quotation, haggling with all of them, and then identifying one person who can give it to me rather than going for the closest, most convenient, and probably more expensive vendor.
Because you also know that this is an investment that is a longer term, so I need to spend some time on an investment. It can't be like a quick.
No, not only that, also the fact that the money that I'm investing is my own.
You need the ROI.
Market se nahi utha hai. Retail is fine, but also I didn't focus much on retail because again, retail mein you need to burn money first before you bag a sale.
Sure. It's marketing first also.
Exactly. That's all. And
Yeah.
also in FMCG mein, I am competing. I will have to compete with companies that are funded.
Exactly.
Companies that are funded
Obviously,
in cash. I cannot manage that.
Tell me how long it took from you sitting in your room with that one grinder to say the first market, the first flea market or the AMSA and to this.
It was a snowball. So we saw the gym. The gym was supposed to be the designated office plus manufacturing. Only that.
Okay.
That was the space we said. We didn't think it would become this big. We said, घर पे ही manufacturing करना है. But we need a license. License के लिए we said, instead of registering it at home, the FSA said, you will register it here, set up an office here, and continue manufacturing at home.
So
then we did ahimsa के बाद so we did flea. वहाँ पे भी the fact the gym is not going to be good enough.
you have scaled.
So it's small. This is like 3 months.
Oh, it's just a matter of 3 months. Oh wow. Okay.
So the gym is very small, it won't work. So we said, chalo, gym plus this storeroom.
Right.
This will be
That will be the entire setup.
Another couple of months pass. We do a couple of more exhibitions. I realized that B2B का scope है. I realized that we need inventory, we need this, we need that. So we said, chalo, gym plus this plus super.
Okay.
Gym on the space is like, get storage on top.
Sure.
Then another 6 months. So we planned that. Another couple of exhibitions go by. By then I used to travel all over the country. Bangalore, Chennai, Delhi.
And you are there founder doing selling.
Yeah. Mom and I.
Wow.
मतलब तभी we didn't have enough staff.
Right.
Just the two of us. Courier करके बोले Then I realized that we are not from the food industry. But we set this up with maintaining a standard that we would expect of a food company if we are buying from them. Today, if I was to buy from a food company, I would expect a certain standard to be maintained.
Right. So I would say like the first 3 months or so, you got your early understanding. In another 3 months, 6 months, you were there. It became a business.
Literally a month before the lockdown is when we got a water connection of the BMC. BMC took 1 year to give us water. Half-inch ka pipe अपने को 1 साल है. So what we used to do was 20-liter Bisleri can used to fill. I used to fill it from home.
What?
To
Wow.
wash. Yeah.
Crazy. Was lockdown a boon or a bane?
For me, it was a boon. Why? Because I moved with the factor a month before the lockdown. A lot of people who set up before the lockdown, which is why I said, what if never ends? So I just told you, okay, I wish I had been to rent into a rented space while this was getting ready.
Oh, you would have had to pay the rent.
Rent, so that's a separate thing. But the point is not only rent. If I'd expanded, I would be left with extra capacity, excess stock, extra staff. I would have to lay off. Here, my brand grew in tandem with lockdown demand.
Use it as an opportunity to also shoot.
Yes, exactly. So, 10 days into the lockdown, by the time the lockdown was end of March, I think 10th of April, I was back.
So from this, a lot of D2C founders, right? If someone's up and coming, the first thing that they would probably do is, okay, I've done the R&D, I know what product I want to sell, probably set up a Shopify store and try to get listed on, say, an Amazon or a quick commerce. You're also listed in one of this. And how is that process? Tell us a little bit about that. Anything interesting or any learnings that we can pick up?
So everything that you see in terms of the product, from recipe to label design, I did myself. I don't come from a design background, but I worked with that design consultant. That is, while I was working with a design consultant, is when this happened. At that point, it was very daunting for me. So I said, let me hire a designer. There was one chick, very well qualified, great. She would sign like
For the design of the branding and packaging.
So I don't have 9 lakhs. And I basically had to ghost her. Because for me, it was just unpacked my feedback. And we had a lengthy conversation, a very good conversation. But at that point, I was just defeated. I'm like, 9 lakhs to 50% discount bhi mangu, 4.5 lakh. That also I'm not. I don't have the money to pay.
You can't sum up that. Yeah.
फिर मैंने एक सस्ती वाली करूँगा.
Huh.
25,000 because then I did जुगाड़. Now all of the jars are the same. The label size is the same. I divided it into two categories. One is dark butter.
Okay.
Dark butter with white ink.
Okay.
And one is a light butter like this with black ink.
So it's just the inverse.
And the dice also same. तो ये सब कर करके I brought the price down to 25,000 कि भाई मेरे को master label तो उसका जो like customization I will do. She understood and we got along very well. But then design मेरे को नहीं जम रहा. What she was giving. Branding I had already done, logo I had already made. I had already made the logo, so वो भी I wasn't paying her for that. Design मेरे को बैठना नहीं था उस. But then she had already made the master file.
Okay.
Once the master file, when you do design and all, I don't know if you know, there is a bleed and there is a punch line. And that all was very overwhelming because whenever I saw that file, there would be so many lines.
It was not fitting on the.
It was very daunting. After a point, I said, because I was too much back and forth, I said, give me whatever you've done and consider your job completed. I gave her the money. I took the canvas, जो उसने वो art board बोलते हैं मेरा illustrator art board with the bleeds.
With the grids and the rollers.
That is all I needed. बाकी का I did myself.
My last question. You told me about the trend about how the business is evolving in terms of healthy snacking, etc. What does the future and the vision look like? It's a very standard question. What is where do I see Rishi Purohit? Where do I see Butters and More in 5 years? And more interestingly, where do I see Rishi Purohit in say 5 years?
In 5 years, a couple of directions that honest food company could go. One is start export.
Okay.
There is a big market for nuts and nut butters outside of India, but then also the regulatory guidelines are still strict, and the money involved is much more. If you want to start importing directly, like a container only of almonds, like 20 tons only of almonds, 20 tons only of pistachio.
Right.
Because when you export, the requirements and the quality of the raw material is very important.
So export is one category.
Export is one. The second is start manufacturing the ice creams myself. Like now I'm supplying to ice cream manufacturers. I supply to vegan milk manufacturer. Using nut butters as an ingredient, manufacture other food products.
And what are your goals? Personal goals?
Personal goals are very simple really. I just want to, I travel only for food. So wherever I want to try something, I'd rather go to the source of it. So I want to have enough money. If I want to eat something, I can afford at the drop of a hat to pay.
But the water hai. Enough of money to hai. Awesome. Let's do one fun round now. I have some questions. 10 questions. Be witty, be quick.
I try.
Okay. First question. What's your personal favorite flavor from the Butters and More line?
This is a question asked very often. I usually stick to the walnut butter. But the caveat is the walnut butter is the most bitter amongst all of my nut butters. It's super bitter because full of iodine. But it's the most nutritious. I eat it for the health benefit. So there's a spoonful in my everyday protein shake. And it's full of omega-3 and fatty acids and all that.
Crunchy or smooth? How do you prefer your nut butter?
I do not make any crunchy varieties. I stick only to smooth. Also, that is the reason why I was able to make a foray into the vegan B2B space. Because my nut butter is so smooth and so finely refined that you can make a nice cream out of it.
Okay, this one's interesting. This one's slightly different. What's one food you absolutely can't stand, even as a foodie? Ye to karela nahi, whatever.
One cuisine, I would say, is American cuisine.
You don't like it?
Everything is batter fried. Everything is fast food.
Interesting.
I mean, that is one food that doesn't appeal to me. American food. It doesn't seem to have a soul.
If you were running a food business, what do you think you'd be doing today?
Something creative. Don't know what. Like even this, I didn't have any clarity on where I would be. But for sure, something that required a hands-on approach where I get to get my hands dirty, and something where you need to think on the spot, and something creative. Whatever it may be. Maybe, I don't know.
This one I think I know since you mentioned about the gym, but still. Morning person or night owl? When do you best work as a founder?
Outdoor in the morning I could totally.
Okay.
If my watchman also calls in, that is my headache.
Hmm.
If Radko the machine is not working, that is my headache. The fridge stops working, that is my headache. So there is no morning.
When do you usually wake up? Is it like that 5 a.m. Tim Ferriss thing? No?
Used to be that I was like very disciplined. I used to sleep at 10 p.m. every day, wake up at 5, go to the gym till butters and more happen. After I started this, घर पे we had one machine only. One machine में से we have 24 flavors to make.
Yeah.
So the batch is be 24 hours. Machine चालू करना है, change करना है, batch change करना है. Then my sleep cycle has gone for a toss since.
It actually became a baby. Describe butters and more in one word.
Honest.
Next question. What is one thing you learned from your mom that you now use in your business?
Don't wait for stars to align. Sense. Don't wait for all your variables to be in perfect alignment in the ideal situation. Okay, maybe like this happened, then it will be perfect. Just start. At whatever level, at whatever stage, start. And then keep upgrading and bettering the product and improving it. But don't wait for the perfect moment to arrive. The perfect moment is when you start.
Which is one celebrity or public figure that you would love to see eating butters and
One fellow I really found traveling
Yeah.
is a guy called Kunal Vijay.
Okay.
Like a Marathi old time of actor or whatever. And now he has this Khane Mein Kya Hai YouTube channel.
Yeah, I think I know this.
And
Yes.
he's a passion. And he's usually roaming around this Dadar only.
Irani Cafe and Marie goes
Yeah,
there.
he's always known. And I've seen him also several times around Dadar here and his team. And you just see the joy
He enjoys the food.
in his face when he's eating the food.
Yeah.
And the way he describes it and everything. So yeah, we'll tag him.
Let's hope he starts. Last question. All right. What's one health food trend you think is totally overhyped?
There are quite a few actually, but one helpful trend that I'm not a fan of is alkaline water.
The black water. Can we now taste one or two of the butters?
About that.
But yeah, before we go into that, and thank you for taking the time. You know, the entire morning and now the afternoon. Did you enjoy the podcast?
Of course.
Okay.
Really, for an entrepreneur who's trapped for cash,
Yeah.
content is good content.
Awesome. We have 3 cameras. 1, 2, and 3. This is to the future Rishis, to the aspiring entrepreneurs, to anybody, to your audience. This is your red carpet. Say something.
Same thing. The most important thing, like 2 lessons. Don't wait for stars to align. Don't wait for the perfect label. Okay, I'm waiting for the perfect label to come and then I will launch. I'm waiting for the perfect website and then I will launch. I'm waiting for the perfect recipe, then I will launch. For the perfect product, then I will launch.
Right.
Launch. And keep perfecting it along the way. And second is don't be afraid of failure. If something takes off, great.
Yeah.
If it fails, get up again. Start again. Try again. There will always be things that set you back.
Yeah.
But if you don't try, you will never know if you won't succeed.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. And let's head to the waters.
Alright guys, thank you so much for staying till the end, and if you enjoyed this episode, show us some love, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Instagram as well, and tell us what you really enjoyed about this episode. What is one thing that you learned? Be as honest as possible, and I will send across something special to you at your address. Once again, thank you, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.